Hey, welcome back again, guys, to the Covell family. You know what we're doing tonight. Episode 6, Bachelor in Paradise. Like I said yesterday, it was cray-cray. I'm riding solo today.
You see me rolling.
Just me. Got my dog over here chilling Wrigley, but just me rolling today. Let's get to it. All right, so let's jump right into what everybody wants to hear about. That's Derek and Demi. What's going on? Where's her girl? What was she talking about? Chris Harrison about? So we start the episode out. Everybody's still pretty much talking about the same thing. What the hell's going on with Derek and Demi? Nobody's totally sure yet. So Chris Harrison walks in. And of course, when Chris Harrison walks in, everybody's like, oh God, what the hell's going on? So Demi and Chris sit down. She starts spilling the beans about how she's been dating Christian. Really doesn't want anybody else in her life, even though she's been here with Derek. She continues to think about Christian. She can't stop thinking about her. The more that she's with Derek, the more she thinks about Christian. Me personally, just based on how she's talking about Derek and Christian, I don't think she wants to be with Derek. I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm sure we'll find out a little bit later. All right, so we all know last episode, Kaitlyn and Blake went on a date. It looks like they were going to move forward with their relationship, but you got Christina kind of like in the middle there. So she walks over, she steals Balake. They go chit chat for a little bit. She pretty much says, I want what's best for you. She wants his friendship rose is really what she's trying to get. So she's trying to swindle her way in between him and Kaitlyn. So Christina and Blake finish up talking, and then Kaitlyn goes and grabs Christina so they can go chit chat a little bit. Right from the get-go, Christina gets all defensive, doesn't really let her talk. Kaitlyn's pretty much telling her, you're just trying to get a friendship rose. And she's not denying that she's not trying to get a friendship rose. So they're going at it. That's where she says, man, you got to chill a little bit. And then Christina's like, I ain't going to chill, honey. And then she says, you're impossible. And she pretty much just leaves the conversation because it's literally going nowhere. In the meantime, Blake's over there talking to Clay. And while the girls are over here talking, and he's like, I don't know what's going on. Of course, Blake's just playing dumb like he always does. He knows exactly what's going on. He's got two girls fighting over him, and he likes it. Let's cut over to Clay real quick. Of course, he's over there. He's working out on the beach, and then you got Nicole like, oh my God. So then we cut over to Katie and Chris chit-chatting. Feel like they had a pretty good thing going, but for whatever reason, Katie just said to him, if somebody else comes, you could go on a date with them if you want. And he's like, I would be confused too if somebody said that to me. Like, what the hell does that even mean? So, of course, that puts doubt in his mind. He's like, are we on the same page? So then we got Jen from Ben's season. She shows up. Everybody gets a little nervous, of course, because they're like, how the hell is she going to shake everything up? I know most of the relationships are pretty established, so I think some of them don't have anything to worry about. But there's always a couple, and Chris and Katie are one of those. Guess who was hanging out with her before Paradise at Stagecoach? Give you a second to think about it. Yes, it was Blake. Blake, yet again, hanging out with somebody else who was in Paradise. So, of course, Jen has a date card. So the first person she pulls is Blake. They chit-chat. Nothing really happens from it. Then she pulls Dean. And Kaitlyn's like, oh, God, what the hell's going to go on? She still kind of is like, he still makes me nervous kind of thing. And they're over there. And she's like literally thinking they're going to go on a date because they're like, you know, he's got his arm around her. They're walking farther away. And then they chit-chat. They don't even show what they're talking about. But then when he comes back, he says, hey, I need to talk to you. But, of course, he was playing a trick on her again. And he said that he's not going to be going on any dates. He's solid with Kaitlyn. So, yet again, Mr. Stash, well done, sir. So, after Jen is done talking to Dean, she goes and she takes Chris. And, of course, Katie said, hey, you can go on a date if you want. Oh, the new girl shows up. She's going to probably ask him on a date. So they end up going on a date. And of course, Katie's like freaking out now. She's saying she always puts up these walls and does this different stuff. And she pretty much kind of screwed herself. She told him to go on a date. So after they decide they're going on a date, he says, hey, let me go talk to Katie. Pretty much just tells her, I want to go on this date. I want to get a little bit of clarity. You confused me earlier when you told me to go on a date. So now there's one in front of me. So he wants to take it. So Jen and Chris go on their date. They're going on a catamaran. You know, they're chilling out, drinking some wine, driving through the ocean. It's obviously beautiful. And then the waves start hitting. And then the waves start hitting a little more. And it starts to get a little choppier. And then next thing you know, their date's pretty much ruined because Chris is over the side puking. That's literally how their date went. So Jen and Chris get back to Paradise. And they go on their little date. They go drink a little bit of wine. He does express to her that he just really isn't on the same page as Katie. At that same time, Katie's over talking to Derek, and he's pretty much telling her, hey, you just need to be you. Obviously, you could tell she's freaking out. So she's kind of getting herself all amped up to go talk to him. And at the same time she's doing that, him and Jen are saying, well, maybe we should kind of see where we go. After they're done talking, obviously Chris goes and finds Katie. He pretty much just kind of lays it out there for her and says he's confused. He's not really on the same page. And based on what she said is kind of what put him in that mindset. So after they're done talking, they go their separate ways. And we cut over to Clay and Nicole. And Nicole puts a little song together for him. She actually has a pretty good voice. She said that he's wanted to hear her sing, so she made a little song. I can't even repeat what the words were because they were really stupid words, but it was actually pretty cute. It's just awkward though. I don't know what it is. Like she said something and she kind of like fell onto him on the bed that they were laying on, and it just looks awkward. She's just weird in her sausage dress. She said it, not me. She does have a good voice, but she kind of sounds like the Little Mermaid, Ariel, if I'm being honest. Listen to her and then listen to them. Let me know what you think. So then, of course, we got Derek and Demi, the couple that's like everybody's questioning because she's, you know, in love with this girl named Christian. So, of course, Demi went and spoke with Chris Harrison. Chris Harrison shows back up and, of course, steals Demi back. And Derek's like, oh my God, what the hell is going on now? And pretty much Chris tells her, hey, I want you to be in the best position to find love. Just go ahead and walk up there. So she walks up there and lo and behold, there's Christian. She's chilling there. As soon as she sees her, you know, like she started crying and she ran after her. She kissed her. She hugged her. It just looked genuine. It looked like what we haven't seen with her and Derek. One thing I do want to point out is when they were hugging, she kept like kissing her forehead. She was like holding her, like kissing her forehead like that. I don't know why, it just bugged me. After they initially see each other, they go sit down, they start talking. Obviously they start talking about Derek. She pretty much says she's had an emotional and a physical connection for him the entire time. And then of course that's hard for Christian to hear. She gets a little upset about that. But it wasn't much long after that, Demi pretty much just said, hey, when I saw you show up, I knew it was you. I know you're who I want to be with. And pretty much just, she didn't break up with Derek yet, but she pretty much said, I'm going to be with you and I'm going to break up with Derek. Poor guy. So Demi goes and grabs Derek and she's about to have a conversation with him. So she sits down and instantly you can tell when you start a conversation how she started it. When you're the person on the other end, you can tell that you're about to get broken up with. She pretty much says that her heart's just with Christian, and Derek being the guy that he is pretty much says he understands. He continues to go through the same thing. Everybody tells him he's such a great guy, but nobody wants to be with this great guy. I would think she probably feels worse telling him because he's so understanding about it. She's probably like thinking, oh my God, he really is such a good guy. So after they're done talking, Derek actually says, hey, I would actually like to meet Christian. I would like us to sit down and we can talk. Really what it is he wants Demi to feel better about the situation. And that's pretty much what he said. He didn't get any clarity out of the conversation that he had with Christian. I thought it was a good conversation that they all had. All right, so after those three talk, obviously she wants to introduce Christian to everybody. They walk right in and she introduces her to everybody. And it actually was pretty cool. I still felt terrible for Derek. It was cool to see everybody was really happy for her because she was able to say, you know, hey, this is my girlfriend. We've been dating. And that's a big step for somebody like that. So I think that's really cool for Demi that she was able to do that. All right, so Christian and Demi go on their date. Really the biggest thing was I thought Christian was going to like say, well, since you came here and dated this other person and had emotional and physical connections that I don't want to be with you, because they kept like making it sound like that's what was going to happen. That's not what happened. But she did express that it was hard for her to hear that, you know, she had a physical and emotional connection with somebody else. It kind of really made her think Demi going to Paradise that she doubted what they had. And it was just more along the line she wanted to try to get some clarity on it as well. And after their conversation, they had a good little dinner, and they said they're going to be together and they love each other. It was actually, they're pretty cute together. I just hate how she kisses her forehead like a grandma. I just don't know why I don't like it. She like puts her in like a headlock, and that's pretty much the end of the episode. But of course they always show the little sneak peeks. And I'm going to just jump to one of the little parts in the sneak peek Chris Harrison talks about changing the rules in the rose ceremony. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna guess. You guys leave your guesses in the comments too, but my guess is he's gonna switch it up and he's gonna give either Demi or Christian a rose, because it's the guys' turn for the rose ceremony, so they can keep one another, because they were talking about how they want to stay in paradise together. But if guys are giving out roses and they're two women, how are they going to get a rose? So that's what I think is going to happen. Leave your comments down below. What do you guys think is going to happen? Chris Harrison's changing something up, so we'll have to see what it is. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Give a big thumbs up on this video. Leave a comment. Turn on that notification bell. We've got 2 of these videos coming out each week. I know we've been a little bit slow on some of our Life with the Covell family videos, but we're going to make sure we got new ones coming out for you guys as well.